Right, now we have Penumbra Overture and Penumbra Requiem. Very fancy names, yes. Musical, actually, I think. Right, Penumbra is, I think that would be called a psychological horror / adventure game. Fancy. Also fancy. Yeah. This game does atmosphere like no other, except maybe Silent Hill. And you're just walking along, and there's a spider. Spider! Just, I don't know. Just, you don't see any other people. You never see any other people in this game. It's just you, some dogs, some spiders, and a voice. The voice of a guy named Red. Red is crazy. He's like psycho crazy. Like, one part, you have to go into a cave in order to get behind a door. This door has something you need to do something else. And so you get to the cave and it's full of spiders. There's spiders everywhere. You gotta move some rocks and block the holes, and the spiders are like, hatch, 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 wee, we're spiders! And they're killing they're trying to kill you, actually. But, yes, if you stop to turn around and hit them with whatever your weapon may be, you die. Because of either so many spiders, or for some reason the cave collapses on you. And that's not fun, probably. So, yes, you finally get out of there. And your dude is like, I'm dying, man. And then Red comes on a little intercom thing, and he's like, oh, I can feel your blood boiling. It's like, oh, how do I know? Because Red tricked you. You thought I was dumb. You thought I was stupid. But it's okay now, because Red is back to normal. Red is not crazy. And so, that was Red. And then onto the enemies. The only enemies I saw in the first one were some mutant zombie dog things and the spiders. But the spiders more come at you en masse. No, wait. Worms. The worms. Man, the first scene with a worm, you will piss yourself. I'm not even kidding, because you're just like walking along. Suddenly worms, like out of nowhere, around a corner, and it falls into a hole, and it looks like a poop. Yes. But as for the dog, I've talked about the spiders and the worms, and yes, the dogs are next. So the dogs, they don't have much health, but they do tend to get up after you whack them with your weapon, which gets really annoying, because it's just like, whack, ow, I'm okay, whack, ow, okay, whack, ow, okay, whack, ow, whack, now I'm dead. And, yes, but the dogs, man, the first dog I encountered, I almost pissed myself. I was hiding in a room, trying to get somewhere, I forget where exactly, but it was near the beginning of the game, of course, because the dogs are the first enemies you find, the spiders are the second, and the worms are third. So there's a dog, and I know he's out there. He's somewhere out there. So I hide in this room, and I'm very careful to close the door behind me, so the dog doesn't walk through it. And I keep going, and I hear the dog. And the music changes to the dog music. And it's all like, ugh. And, yes, so I'm hiding back there, and suddenly the door opens, and the dog comes walking through with his glowing eyes, and I'm like, so I'm freaking out, because I've got this thing about big dogs. Yeah. Yes. Them big dogs. So the end of that one, you're in a hallway, and it's dark. And all the lights go out. And then it's over. So then you go on to Penumbra Requiem, the next one, which some of you may know this, some of you may not, but Requiem was actually supposed to be 2 different games. Like Penumbra Overture was the first one, Requiem was the second, and something else was going to be the third. But due to budget cuts and developers being developers and stuff, Requiem got turned into 1 game. So now it's 2-1. It's not quite as good as the first. The first half of Requiem is actually really good. It's really crazy. You're going along, there's stuff happening, and then there's... It's really weird. The first enemies you find in this one are the only enemies. Well, not quite. The only enemies you actually see. So you got these guys, and they're like normal people / aliens, and they've got their abdomen cut out, and it's like stitched together, and they've got like an umbilical cord or something wrapped underneath their crotch, so it looks like intestine penis. So yeah, there's those guys. I forget what they're called. The Turngat. Yeah, they're Turngat. T-U-U-R-N-G-A-I-T. Yeah, Turngat. And these guys are not very smart for being superior beings. There's one part in there where you're hiding behind one, trying to get to a switch that's right about here, a little bit in front of it, but for some reason it can't see you, and it's just standing there, and you're crouched down just behind it, and it doesn't see you. He doesn't hear you, doesn't see you, doesn't anything. I skipped ahead, I'm sorry. So that was the Turngat, and then going back, we've got well, there's worms in this one too. And the worms are pretty crazy. There's not quite as they're bigger, but there's not quite as many worms. I think there's like 1 or 2. And one of them, you're in a room. You need a hand. You need someone's hand. Wait, no, forget that. Back to Clarence. Clarence. Near the beginning of Requiem, you're, for some reason, near a pit. The pit is full of a little bit of water and some boxes that probably float. I don't know, I've never had to do this puzzle before. So you're standing there, and you hear a voice, and everything looks up at the sky and starts spinning, and you're doing this puzzle thing, and it's like, oh man, I feel so bad for killing Red. Because this whole thing is about Red. I don't know why, but it is. And he's like, oh, oh, oh. So you finish all those puzzles, and suddenly you've got a voice in your head, and he decides to call himself Clarence. And apparently he's a Turngat. And later on, the ending of this game is interesting. Very nice. Very, very good. Very excited. Later on, it turns out he was a little too human. And suddenly it was over.